Hi, everybody. My name is Marina, and I'm the media director of Art Film City. Thank you very much for joining us here, and we are here today with the film creators of our lesbian short program number two. It's Matthew Brennan, Summer Vacation, Zoe McDonald, and Holly Austin Butch and Sivan Shimon wake up call. Thank you so much for joining us. Um, and you're here from all over the world. Zoe and Holly are from Australia. Sivan is from Israel, and Matthew is from New York. So first, can you tell me a little bit about what was your inspiration to create your films? And what do they mean to you? And maybe Sivan, maybe you can start.
Um, yeah, I'd love to. I guess, like for me, it was wanting to tell because um, I had a lot of like roles in the cinema business, and I started, I guess, as an actress, and I acted in the first Israeli lesbian film, like the first
Oh, wow.
Israeli film. It came out 4 years ago, and it was literally the first Israeli film that actually discussed lesbians. And I was studying in the university, and it really kind of resonated for me, wanting to tell another lesbian story, like adding just another story to our canon, because I we didn't have anything to relate to. We only had American films and European films that we as the Israeli lesbian community, when we wanted to, to sympathize with characters. And it was really important to me, and it was my passion to kind of add to that, to the Israeli canon. And for me, like the most Israeli experience is the military. So I went on to tell a lesbian story that happens in the military, that happens when you are 18 and you are so young, and you want to do good, and you want to be a part and in the Israeli community. That's kind of the process you go through as a young person, that you have to go to the army, and if you won't go to the army, you're going to be ostracized. And what does that experience mean to a lesbian woman who goes into this uh, um, militant, masculine system? So, yeah, just a little bit about Wake Up Call.
So, so the story tells about she's a lesbian, right? And there is a moment with another woman, and then she has to tell about it to the lieutenant. And there was one moment with the lieutenant where he kind of was very personal with her. What was there something about it?
Yes, um, like another layer of subtext, I guess, was the sexual harassment, in a way that, what is because you have homophobia and you have lesbophobia, which lesbophobia, like other phobias, is perceiving that person as a sexual creature. Like people say, I'm attracted to Asians or whatever. That thing always, a lot of times, happens with lesbians, that people perceive lesbians, us, as sexual creatures. Immediately, you're a sexual creature. You're a lesbian. You sleep with women, and when she goes into that room, when she goes and she wants to confess, She understands that the heroine, she's an officer, and she does this bad thing because she has a sexual conduct with a soldier, and she wants to tell her commander, listen, I've done something wrong, judge me for it. And he doesn't judge her for it. He makes her think like he's judging her for it, but what he actually wants is to hear the details. And he goes on it as, I'm your friend. Tell me about that girl that you're attracted to. And we are friends. We are bros. I'm your brother. So tell me about that woman. And a lot of times I feel as a lesbian woman that those boundaries with men tend to blur. From what point are you my friend, and from what point am I also the sexual creature that you are looking at? Like at one point, because we can talk as because he goes through this manipulation as, tell me what happened, I'm your friend. Tell me exactly which position it happened. Tell me how she looked when she was naked. And no, I'm your friend. And at one point, she starts being the visual. I'm sorry, the English is kind of slipping away from me. She starts being the sexual being that is attracted to in the situation. You know what I mean?
Right. So
Like
it's
the
kind
object.
of, yeah,
Yeah, the object. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you.
yeah,
She thinks that we're two friends talking about the other woman, and she's the object. She's the sexual object, and not even realizing the point that she becomes the sexual object. And
yeah,
that's when the sexual harassment happens, and that's lesbian phobia. That's uh, you two women had something together, and I as a man feel that I'm allowed to ask about it, that I'm allowed to know. I want to know what happened there.
yes.
And
That kind of vulnerability, the lesbian vulnerability, kind of lets him break the boundaries between you and lets him do whatever he's entitled to do.
yeah, because
I think
he's
that's
that exactly the I'm your superior. I always have the power. Yeah.
right, and it's very relatable. At I don't know about the army, but at work, and I think that's very relatable to all of us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
in every system, in every workplace, in every college, university, any system, I guess, that you have rules you have to follow.
Right. So, Matthew, um, let's talk about your film. It's Summer Vacation, and it's your first film, right?
Um,
Or not?
no, not really. First serious film, I guess, but I've done a lot. I've been making stuff since high school. Bad things, but um, things nonetheless.
So, can you tell us about that? It's the story about a girl on a school break, summer break, right?
hmm
And you intended to make it as a story about the dating apps, but then it kind of evolved into a story about the sexuality,
Yeah.
right?
I just I have such a unstructured process, so I really never know what the hell I'm doing until it's kind of there. Um, so it was definitely looking at kind of dating apps and just general intimacy, and kind of looking at how that work in teenagers, young adults, and just kind of going from there and kind of meandering around the darkness for a little bit until I stumbled onto the story. But when I finally did kind of write it, I didn't know if I wanted to do it because I was really scared of the story. I didn't think I could do it. Um, I had never directed anything of that nature or just there. I mean, there's nothing really graphic or explicit in the movie, but there's just kissing, and I had never really done that. I'd just done stupid comedies and whatnot, and so it was going to people and pretty much them convincing me to do the movie and just trying to get lots of notes from lots of different people, and just kind of ripping it apart and starting it over again.
Right, they make out a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with that was really all. I mean, casting for the movie was insane. Every time I've done casting, I'm always like, we're going to get 10 people who show up and that's going to be it. I live in New York, and so obviously there are no actors in New York at all. And so when we put the call out, I think we got like over 900 people. And we just had yeah. And so I was not prepared for that. And we were working a crunch. To thank you to Rachel Bass, who was the producer of this project, because she helped and was so crucial to that whole entire thing. But we were able to land on two amazing actors, Sammy and Peyton, Sammy Booth and Peyton Michelle Edwards, who they just got it right away. And we wound up doing a callback with them, and they clicked right together. And rehearsals, I mean, honestly, a lot of the times it was me just kind of sitting back and letting them just do what they did best. And it was that was kind of how we did it.
Cool, thank you.
900 for a short?
Yeah, it was over 900 people. There's 4 characters in the movie, and it's just
that's so much.
Yeah, well, again, I always thought that we're not going to get anything, so Rachel kind of put stuff out on Facebook. We were on Backstage. We were going to do Actors Access, but by the time we had put that through, I think we had like 500 submissions, and so
wow.
And you're talking about 900 actresses, or
no? Out of that, it was mostly the actresses. There were definitely less men for that role, for the 2 other parts, for the 2 guy roles. And that's usually in casting. It's always usually a lot of women, and it's hard to find men, at least in my experience with casting. But it was a little overwhelming, to say the least.
I see. So Holly and Zoe, tell us about BUTCH. How did you come up with the idea? And I personally want to thank you for that film. That I think we do need to have more lesbian comedies where now lesbian dies. I hope the dog, did the dog die or not?
Well,
spoiler alert.
We leave it as a cliffhanger. But spoiler alert. We like to think the dog survives. Yeah.
You like to what? Sorry.
Think that the dog. We don't kill the dog. We're not in the business.
Don't worry, dog lovers.
Or dogs. It's not our bag.
Yeah, so nobody dies. That's
nobody dies. It's a comedy, right? But Marina, a big part of what Zoe and I wanted to do was laugh about heartbreak and laugh about our own experience of dating and owning pets, and I think it's really important in the canon of lesbian storytelling. There is not a lot of that, and we both come from a background of comedy and performing. And I'd love to say that we had 900 people audition, but Zoe and I decided we were the best people to play the roles of Jem and Tiff, the leads in BUTCH, and unfortunately we had to let 900 other actresses. No, they weren't. But Zoe, probably you can speak a little more about.
Yeah. So
you both acted?
Sorry?
You both act in your film?
We do.
Yeah, we do. And
nice.
This sort of project came about because Holly and I were writing on a sketch comedy TV show together, and Holly was performing in it, and we sort of started collaborating. and we have a real love of developing characters. And at the same time, we'd had lots of discussions around, similar to what Sivan was saying about where is this representation? Where are these characters that we can relate to? And we were just really just hunting for scraps. You know, there would be like a lesbian storyline on one episode of one TV show in one season, and we'd just be like, where is it? Oh, it's like 3 minutes for 5 minutes, and then it's gone. So we were like, let's create the piece that we want to see. And so yeah, like Holly said, it was based on a lot of our own experiences. And then with our love of character comedy and comedy, we thought, let's create a suite of other characters that come into the show, to the film, that are kind of like when you break up with someone and you keep seeing the ex in every new person that you date, which is, you know, it happens to everyone sort of when you're trying to move on. And so we thought, what if we create this world where the two ex-girlfriends keep seeing each other and they really struggle to move on while they try and sort of co-parent this dog. So yeah, they essentially break up and then have to share custody of their dog. So a lot of relatable experiences, especially in our community.
Oh, so that's what it meant. I was meant to ask you, why did you play, you know, two characters at once? So,
yes, look, it was very hard to shoot, and our continuity person was really, really stressed out. But yeah, so Holly and I in the film play two other characters, and potential love interests for our two lead characters. So I'm just going to say there's a scene in the car where there's 4 characters, both played by us, and it was look, it was a nightmare, but hopefully we pulled it off.
No, it was great.
Lots of fun. Yeah, it was good
for you.
So Zoe, Holly, and Sivan, it looks like you made the films for other lesbians, for the community, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Matthew, what about you? Who did you intend this film to be for?
That's a great question. I mean, I definitely meant it for the community, but being that I identify as a man, and I've never been a 17-year-old woman or girl. It's still one of the most personal stories to me that I've ever told. I don't know why. Certain ways I do, but other ways I don't. So it's definitely for the community. But I guess coming through with how I wrote it, I think it's anybody who's also gone through dating app experiences, or even just looking for some sort of intimate connection, whether that's with a friend or, you know, someone you meet on, you know, dating app or whatever like that.
And so is she, does she know she's gay or bi or whatever or is it actually she's discovering?
I mean, I think it's definitely a process of discovery for her at that point. With sexuality and with just other people that I've spoken to, with sometimes it's not always kind of a, you know, and something that Amy and I worked with was going through that and talking about, well, okay, what do we think she is? And so I think, I mean, I could leave the ambiguous thing that I have my answer. I think she's a lesbian. I just don't think I think she's going through that process. And that's what Sammy and I kind of discovered together, I guess.
Cool. And so you guys all kind of came from straight film industry into lesbian film industry, right?
What?
How is it? So all of you came from straight film industry. All of you have been doing films or being actresses in straight films or shows. How the lesbian film industry is different? Are there any certain tricks to it, or what's the difference?
I kind of think that, and I think maybe it's just a bit of, you know, the industry is playing a bit of catch up. I think that now the mainstream film industry is starting to champion stories with queer characters. And I think it's really important that I think in a sort of, queer filmmakers have been doing this for years, which is just, not objectifying the characters, definitely telling it from their perspective with that gaze, I guess. So I feel like it was sort of like almost two separate industries, and now I feel like they're starting to merge. I feel like we've got a long way to go, but I do feel like we're starting to see lead queer characters in films where they used to just be the gay best friend, or and a tokenistic gesture, I guess. And I think it speaks for diversity in general on our screens. I think we're starting to see a shift, which is really awesome. And hopefully one day that there won't be just one or the other, that will just be as one. That's my speech over.
Yeah, lesbians hardly die anymore in films.
That's right. It's a miracle.
Right? It's a miracle we survive. Yeah, I agree with every word. Yeah.
So Sivan, you are an actress, and now you directed. You wrote the play, the screenwrite, and you played in this short. How
I did not play in my short.
Oh, okay.
She looks a lot like me. She doesn't really look like me. People just say that she resembles me, I guess.
She looks a lot like you, and I think it did say that you were the actress and the screenwriter of the short.
No, it must have been a mistake, but
all right.
It was. I must say it was a thing. It was an issue of me, because I'm an actress and I'm a writer and I'm a director and like I have these skills, and I said, okay, I wrote something that I believe in. I wanna act in it, and I just couldn't. And taking a step back and deciding not to act in it was a major thing for me. And once I took a step back, the most important thing that I had in my mind was to cast a lesbian actress. Like, I would not settle for it. I would not settle for it. I did not even, I didn't write in the, how do you call it when you call for actors? Auditions, whatever. I didn't say only lesbians come, but I was very sensitive to it because I wanted. I don't know. Maybe it's a inappropriate thing to say, but I did not want a straight woman to be the lead in my film. I did not want that. I could not have that. I couldn't, and it was more important to me than anything else to have a lesbian actress standing in front of my film, representing it in every bit of intimacy that there is over there. And I imagine you can have actors, and they're amazing actors and actresses, and you can have actresses, straight, bi, whatever, doing and acting and doing their job and actually doing their job. I do imagine that straight actresses can do their job, but I don't know. It was the first film that I directed. I wanted a lesbian. Just like in front of my film.
No, it makes sense, and it is a big issue right now. I think on Gentleman Jack, the HBO series, that got a lot of hate for that. That the main character was a straight, played by a straight actress, and she did a great role. But I think there are two different sides of it, and everybody has different opinion.
I do know that it's gonna bite us in the ass, because we say, wow, why don't you let, like, Neil Patrick Harris, that we want a lot of gay, lesbian gay actors and actresses having roles, doing their job as straight characters, and there's a lot of hate over that a lot of gay actors and actresses casted for straight people, for straight characters because they are too gay or whatever, or because they are known as gay, and that's the thing. And then you say, okay, if he's a gay actor, I am as a gay actress and as a gay filmmaker, I know that gays can perform as straights, but I know that they don't get as much opportunities. And so I don't want to be, I don't want to do the same thing as the opposite. I don't want to say that, you're straight, you can't act gay. You can't. I don't want to say that, but I think we're in this kind of era that we're in between. And for me personally, I wanted to give a chance, and I wanted to have that authenticity. And I hope in a few years it wouldn't even be a dialogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the asshole right now, but
No,
I
no.
hope in a few years it wouldn't even be a dialogue.
I think it's like changing people's perspective too, because like you said, there's a lot of bias. So we just assume because straight people have played gay characters, all the time, we just go, well, they're straight actors. They've had the privilege, I guess, to do that. And it's about just flipping that around and making it equal, I guess. But there is a bias, and I think we have to acknowledge that's there and kind of, unpack that a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is even the reverse situation. I remember when I was watching Vida, another show. There was
Which show?
Vida.
Vegan?
Viva.
Vida.
Viva.
Vida. Yeah.
Yeah. There is an actress on that who, kind of, she was very hesitant of playing a gay character, a lesbian character, because she was tired of that stigma that he always has to play gay characters. So she almost refused to play in it. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It does, at least in Israel, because we are a small country and as equivalent, we are a small industry. We do have, like, I can think of one actor who is straight, but he does a lot of gay characters. He's like the go-to actor as a straight actor to play gay characters. And he's super good. He's an amazing actor, but when there are big films and like juicy parts, they go to him. They don't go to other actors that are, I imagine, are as talented as he is. But
I think
imagine
I think the other side to that is that I know in Australia, if you play, because there are so few kind of lesbian characters on screen, if you get cast and you are gay and you get cast as a lesbian and you're really convincing, then you're the go-to lesbian actor. Then you'll have on your CV, like, I played a lesbian in this, a lesbian in that. I played a psychopath lesbian in this one, and then I died as a lesbian in that one. Like, there's not much range of like types of lesbian, but you really get typecast, I think. So it can go, I can see how it can kind of go the other way.
Yeah. Hey, look what happened with Ellen Page. I think it's amazing what happened with Ellen Page, but something happened with Ellen Page, and we cannot turn a blind eye to it, because Ellen Page, once she came out, all her films are gay characters, and I love it. I love the TV series. The San Francisco Tales is beautiful TV series. But once she came out, I haven't seen any characters she's done since she came out that was straight.
Yeah. Very true.
Maybe there's like a backlog of storytelling in her, you know, of like all of the roles that she had to play where she was a straight person and now she can just unleash her true self.
Yeah, imagine she's such a big actress. I guess now she's just choosing the parts. Maybe she just like chooses the parts that she want to say. I think that's a smarter take on it.
Okay, guys. So, Holly and Zoe, I found some information on you, and that yeah. Well, I did Google Zoe, and were you really in Australian Next Model?
Oh, so no. So if you go onto my it's some sort of glitch with.
She was.
I mean, like, sorry, I'm talking it down, but really, I've let myself go a bit since then. It's the lockdown. I've been eating way too many donuts. But yeah, it's some glitch with IMDb. So one day, I think it was like a friend of mine was like, "Did you know that you've got a Next Top Model credit on your IMDb?" And I was like, "What?" Turns out, and I wrote to them. I said, "Look, it's not me. I wasn't on Next Top Model," and they never changed it. So it's just like I tried, guys.
Just say yes. Just say yes.
If you Google me, you might have seen a clairvoyant or a psychic who obviously pays for heaps of Google ads because her name is like at the top of that. So yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Model psychic.
That's so funny. But so what will happen next for you is that BUTCH will become a TV series, right? And
we just got some development funding here from Screen Australia, and thank you. And we've just been it's been actually such a great project to be working on while in lockdown and all of the strange new world we find ourselves in, to be able to be writing. And Zoe and I kind of been meeting once a week and give each other tasks, and have kind of diligently been writing. It's now a 7-episode half-hour series in which we play a lot more characters, so super fun, and
more talking animals.
Yeah, many more talking animals, and it's been so fun to expand the world from what was this 10-minute short to now, a lot of content. Yeah.
The TV series is based on your short?
Yeah, so we kind of pick up at the end of, I guess our short becomes sort of roughly our first episode, and we kick on from there. So just the beginning.
Nice.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thanks.
Matthew, so what's your next step? What are you working on right now?
I'm working on a few different things, just mainly all writing stuff because America is not doing so great right now. So we're, I've actually working on a few projects with Sammy and Peyton, who were the actors. It's been great being able to know them, and we've all kind of become friends after the project. So that's really great. And then just working on a few other things with different people, and just trying to write and stay sane.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Sivan, what about you?
We are heavily quarantined in Israel right now. I don't know if you know. Heavily quarantined.
Right?
What?
You're on lockdown, right?
We're on lockdown, yeah. So I mean, right now I have a feature that I acted in, where like a polyamorous gay film sponsored by Sundance. Got a film grant by Sundance. It's supposed to come out next year, which I'm super excited on. It's an American production, American independent production. So it was super fun. We shot last year in France, in the same town that we shot at got flooded right now. So so we hope it's gonna be okay. And so that's like the major big thing that's gonna come out. But you don't have a lot of polyamorous films, and so So that, and I'm working on my next, like my final project, because this is it's a student film, Wake Up Call, and I'm working right now on my other film, like another film that I'm writing, which is a women's sports. Do you know handball? Does any of you know the sports handball? Yeah. So it's popular in Israel, popular-ish. You know, it's not soccer or basketball, but it's an amazing sport. And so it's a film about a women's girls team, like 17-year-olds playing handball, which is super violent, violent sports. So yeah, like giving power, like seeing athletes at their best.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So thank you so much. This was so much fun.
It was
Yeah.
so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck to you all. Thank you.
Wait,
Thank
I have a
you.
question. When do we all screen in the same day?
Yes.
Or all? Yeah,
Yes.
on 8th of October, next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. I can't wait to see all your films.
I can't wait to
Yes,
see your
same.
film. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for watching us.
Thank you. Thank you, Marina. Thank you all.